Hello, my fellow Americans. My name is Alfred E. Smith, or Al Smith for short, but you can just call me your pal Al. I'd like to thank my presidential running mate, Mr. Herbert Hoover, for being the most respectful competitor that I could have asked for. I'd also like to thank my party for electing me to the status of presidential candidate. I stand before you as a representative of our nation, the nation of peace, freedom, liberty, and other words that have a positive connotation. I know that my religion may be a bit off putting for a few of you. However, I want you to know that my religion will not be making my decisions for me. For example, when I was the governor of New York, I supported help for the mentally ill. I was against child labor relations. I supported better housing. I supported state parks. And I was anti lynching. In my presidency, I plan to further these earlier stated things, as well as being against prohibition and against violence, actively passing legislation to ensure that neither of these come to fruition. For more information on these policies and what I intend to do with my presidency, I would like to pass it on to my vice presidential candidate, a Mr. Joseph Taylor Robinson. Take it away, Joe.
Hello, my fellow Americans. I would like to provide further insight on what our beloved presidential candidate has already stated. During Smith's governing of New York, he had funded for asylums in order to help those who were mentally challenged and restricted the allowing of child labor. As my good buddy Al Smith already stated, gang violence is a serious problem in our nation, specifically in urban cities like Chicago and New York City. Our plan is to eliminate this problem entirely, hoping that the rest of the government cooperates with our aspirations. I would now like to return the spotlight to our next president, Al Smith.
Thank you so much, Joe. Oh, what's this? I'm getting a text message from a Mr. Hoover. Let's see what he has to say. Can you believe he would say something like that to me? Well, that's just one of the many disrespectful things that he's done in his lifetime, and to learn more about this disgrace of a human being, I'd like to pass it on to my campaign manager, a Mr. Jude Rodriguez.
Yeah, thanks, guys. So hello, my fellow Americans, of course. And as Alfred E. Smith's campaign manager, I managed to dig up some info on our boy Herbert Hoover. So, formerly, Herbert Hoover was the Secretary of Commerce under Calvin Coolidge, both Republicans, by the way. But after Coolidge found out that Hoover was going to be the nominee for the Republican Party, Coolidge is quoted saying this: "For 6 years, that man has given me unsolicited advice, all of it bad." During the campaign, Hoover avoided debate with Smith and wouldn't even say his name because he wanted to avoid discourse while campaigning. Hoover, being a millionaire business owner, said that he wanted to run the government like a corporation, and he only spoke to news correspondents who supported him. So there was no other coverage from outside media. And he also called himself an outsider anti-politician. So is this really the temperament of the person we want leading the country in the White House? I wouldn't say so. In tandem with the KKK's dislike for Smith, there was a lot of anti-Catholic rhetoric being spouted about in arguments against him. So much so that Protestant ministers told their congregations that if Smith was ever elected president, all non-Catholic marriages would be annulled or made null, and the children of those marriages would be declared illegitimate. So this is kind of fear mongering here. This is kind of saying that you can't vote for Smith because since he's Catholic, any non-Catholic marriages won't be declared legal like that. And also, they of course warned that anybody who voted for Smith would go straight to hell. So there's always that redeeming factor about our the kind of people who support Hoover over there. Also, a Florida elementary school placed a note in every one of the students' lunch pails there that said, "We must prevent the election of Alfred E. Smith to the presidency. If he is chosen as president, you will not be allowed to read or have a Bible." I don't even know what that even supposed to. What was the logic behind that? These are the people who support Hoover. And so now I'd like to take it back to your future president, Al Smith, for a closing message.
Thank you, Jude. Now, to finish out, I'd like to thank all of my many fans and followers. And please, remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button down below, ring the little bell to learn about notifications of when I'm about to upload next, and make sure you vote for the only good candidate in this actual race. Me, Alfred E. Smith.
America! Frick! Yeah! Coming again to save the mother! Frick!